during that time. Of course, that is especially in India. And that is, of course, that is more smarta. And but I think because Gurudev was there in Mathura, and there are some smarta brahmanas there also sometimes. So he was asking, and that is my understanding.
Why are you contaminated?
What's that?
Why are you contaminated?
Well, it is some, no, the whole family actually. Yeah. When somebody is born or somebody dies, there's a contamination there. I mean, it's, yeah, of course easy to understand when somebody dies. The soul is living and the body is there and smells very bad. But also when the child is born, there's so much, after the child is coming out and some other things are coming out, there's so much blood coming out. It is a little bit dirty thing, unclean. And usually even they used to have a special room where the woman was giving the delivery. It was not inside the house, it was attached to the house, but just outside the house. One special room was there for delivery. And then she was staying there, and then when she's first time coming out, that was known as Nishkramanam. And she's coming inside the house for the Namkaran Sanskar, giving the name to the child. And for that, so Yaga is done again, as explained. So Kushandika is there, and the name is given. And there's even a bathing of the child is there by chanting auspicious mantras. And the new cloth is wearing, and then Yaga is performed. As explained, but it is more simple. And then there's a Pushti Karma. Sometimes every month they do a Yagya in the cultural family for 1 year for the child, for the good health of the child. Pushti comes from Pushti. Pushti Karma means for nourishment, for the well-being of the child. And then after that, Anaprasana Sanskar, giving the first grains. For the girls, it is in the 5th month, 7th month, or 9th month. For the boys, it is in the 6th, 8th, or 10th month. The first grains are given. Of course, usually Mahaprasad. Of course, if the pure devotee is there, then sometimes they keep it simple, and they will just go to the spiritual master and ask him to give a name, or ask him to give the first grains, and then Haribol, that's it. And then Kanaveda, piercing the ears, but that as Vaishnavas usually we don't do for the boys. But in Brahmana families, even in Braj or South India, they pierce the ear of the boys. Not only the girls, but for the boys, and there's a ceremony. And then comes Chudakanana Samskar, cutting of the hair. And usually it's actually 2 times. Before the child is 1 year old, because the hair is impure, especially the first hair. But the hair is always impure, but especially the first hair it is cut before the child is 1 year, that is known as Mundan. And then afterwards, when the child is around 3 or 4 years, there's a Chudakanam Samskar. Again, there's a ceremony of cutting the hair. And then Vidyaramba, that is the beginning of the studies. And at that time, there's a ceremony. And then, of course, Upanayan Samskar for the Brahmanas, receiving the Gayatri, that is usually the Brahma Gayatri, the first line, Om Bhutva Svatat Savito, Varinyam, and so on. That in the Brahmana families they will give that mantra.
There is also initiation, that is Guru by the family Guru.
Yeah, that is usually by the Guru. He will give the Upanayan Sanskar.
It's about 12 years old?
Well, the Brahmanas, even when they are 8 years old, they can be given. When they are 8, and then the Kshatriyas when they are 12, and others usually after 15, 16. And the Vaishyas, but the Shudras, they will never get that Upanayan.
The family Guru does all these things.
Yeah, in traditional families, the Guru is there. Even in Braj, so as we know, so there are also Kunguru was there, the Baguri Muni was there, and Sandili Muni was there. So we're doing the different ceremonies. Garga Rishi was there doing the Namkaran Sanskar. But he was actually the cool guru of the Yadu dynasty. But because he was so powerful and he was so well respected, even more than Baburi or Chandilya Muni, so therefore Nanda Baba, he asked Garga Muni to come and do the ceremony. Although they had their own cool guru, but they asked him to do.
Usually initiation, everything takes place in the home of the family.
Yeah, Upanayan Samskar, but the Upanayan is not really initiation. So to say, it's just giving the Brahman thread, and when they have the Brahman thread, then they can study the Vedas, and they can assist the parent, the father, in doing yagyas. For that purpose, the Upanayan, the Brahma Gayatri is given. But it doesn't mean they are initiated into Vishnu or Krishna Bhakti.
So we run out of time.
So we just finished. It's 5:55. And then after some Vartana is there, then when the studies are finished, then again there's a ceremony when he is leaving the school, the student. That is known as Samavartana. And then some additional ceremonies are there. Griha Pravesh, entering a new house. For that there's a ceremony. And even, for example, if somebody wants to build a house, then they will, actually what they will do, they will dig a hole in the southeast corner where they have the building, where they will have the building, in the southeast corner known as Agnikorn. They will dig a hole under the ground, under the foundation of the house to be built, and they will do ceremony, worshiping of course as Vaishnavas, Guru, Gauranga and Krishna, and then they will establish Ananta Shesh. They will worship Ananta Shesh, and they will put him inside the ground. And then he will have a little temple there. And they will close that and he will hold the house. And even in the temples, actually all the temples, they will do that. For all the temples. Even the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they will do that. Establishing Ananta Shesh. And then, and then when the house is ready, then entering the house is there. And so there's a ceremony there, and the Guru, Gauranga and Krishna are worshipped. And they will be staying there, they're the master of the house. And we are simply the servants. And then the house becomes like a temple. So that is Griha Pradesh, entering the house. Before that, nobody is staying in the house, before the ceremony. And then Mangal Homa, sometimes for auspiciousness, some ceremony is done. Even sometimes on special occasions like Janmashtami in some places, even, they will do a yagya on that day, chanting 108 names of Krishna. So that is Mangal Homa. And then the last ceremony, of course, then for those grihasthas who want to then enter Vanaprastha, there may be ceremony for that, and then also sannyas ashram, entering the sannyas ashram. And the last is known as Antyeshti Kriya, and that is when somebody is leaving the body. At that time there's a ceremony. That is the last ceremony. And then the burning of the body is there, and then putting the ashes in the holy river. But if somebody is leaving the body, so as explained, there's a contamination period. And then 10 days after, actually the 11th day for the Brahmanas, and usually for the Kshatriyas it is on the 13th day, for the Vaishyas on the 15th day, and for the Shudras after 30 days, in some places even after 40 days, they will have a special ceremony. And that is then known as Mangal Homa also, so that everything is, so to say, all right, and for the benefit of the departed soul. So the Antyeshti Kriya, so that is the last ceremony when somebody is leaving the body, and then the body is burned and the ashes are put then later on in the holy river. Yes.
Yeah, so I guess maybe we can talk about, but you have to understand, if they're leaving in a house, there's like rules as to how they should go out, what part of the body should go first.
And that is also mentioned here. The head should go out first, not the feet.
The ladies and the men should walk separately, different, men first, ladies behind.
Yeah, no, the men always be behind the body, and then the ladies.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, some things are mentioned, yes. That is also explained in the Sakriya Samhita. Yes. Small details are there, yes. So we can talk more after.
Yes.
When I see a dead body or my father died, then I say I contaminated.
Yes.
Means that I can do some days not to puja.
Yes, actually, if one is a householder, then one should not worship the deities in the temple. That is not allowed. If, for example, he's staying next to the temple, then for 10 days he should not go to the temple and worship the deities. And even he should not go for darshan to any other temple. So that is usually the rule, like in Vrindavan we have to follow because so many smarta brahmanas are there. But for example, if it is our own temple, then we may go to the temple and take darshan because it is like our house, but we don't go to the altar. So same as brahmachari, if you are connected to the family, then we may not go on the altar, but usually then for 3 days. But if there is no connection with the family, then we don't have to follow. If there is no connection.
But when I'm
Like a sannyasi, they don't have to follow all these things. They're disconnected.
when I'm traveling and so means that I have holiday.
You have holiday.
My Thakurji holiday 7 days.
No. Thakurji seva you always do. When you have your own deities, you every day you do the seva. Sometimes we hear devotees, they have deities, they're going somewhere, they're putting the deities to rest for 10 days. But that is actually not proper. It is not the idea that is to say. So that seva should go on every day. There's nitya seva. Every day it should go on. So similarly, if somebody dies, if you have taken a vow that I will worship the Lord every day, you person deities, then you may do. But you should do a simple seva and you do simple bhoga offering. Even if somebody is dying, one should be very sober. Although we know we are not this body, and even my father dies, I know he's not this body. And I pray for him that he may have a better destination, may have given much prasad. But still, I mean, we should not just think, oh yes, he's not this body and no problem, and we laugh and we take normal prasadam, and no. We should be a little bit grave and sober. And even it is mentioned, even the food we take, it should be simple. For example, one should not take fried foodstuffs, but one should take simple foodstuffs. Eat simple, at least for the first 3 days. And be sober and grave. Oh, my father left. So just like that. So something.
What is the injunction for someone that's just seeing?
Yes, we have to wind up. Yes?
For someone to just see, not being attached to the family, but for someone to see a dead body.
Dead body.
What is the injunction? Because that's also, from what I understand, something that should not happen.
Yes.
Bathed, or there's something.
Well, if you have to go on the altar, you have to bathe anyway.
No, I mean anybody.
But otherwise,
I'm
you
saying
just
any
chant
person.
Hare Krishna.
I'm just saying any person seeing.
Yes.
Not even a majority. Any person seeing.
Yes.
Isn't there something that you should not see? One should not see.
When it's mentioned, one should not see a dead body. But sometimes, the body, if you see it in here, you see quite often. So try not to look there, that's all.
But nothing to be done even if you see.
When we chant Hare Krishna. Om Pavitra Pavitra Va Sarvavastantara Vivaya Smare Pundarikaksham Sadharyantra Suchina. So if you remember Krishna, you become cleansed inside and outside. We have to be practical. We have to be practical. I mean, if you are here living in Puri, it's sometimes difficult, especially if you pass through Svarapad. Every day you can see they're burning every day at least 4 or 5 bodies, maybe even 10. Maybe even more. Because everybody knows, they say, if somebody is leaving the body and the burning the body in Svarapad, they will go to Svarg, to the heavenly planets. So, so I think even from surrounding areas, they all bring the dead bodies here and burn them here. So, sometimes the car is there, if you're living nearby, then it's difficult what to do. But you try not to look there, and you try to cover your face, what to do. So, but then, so you chant this mantra. As you chant Hare Krishna, then you become also purified. Okay, so we stop here.